Hi folks, Caroline here, and today I just want to explore a little bit about putting our own needs first, in the sense that when you work for yourself and you run an online business, as I do, then life throws situations at you where you have to make decisions about how you spend your time and where you put your time and energy. Now, for me, I love the fact that I do run an online business because I'm not tied down to being in a particular place at a particular time for a particular length of time. So it's no longer a Monday to Friday stuck in an office, or when I was on the cruise ship working certain shifts in the middle of the ocean and away from friends and family. Now, for me, friends and family are very important, and being there for them in their time of need is something that I take great pleasure out of, because I feel like, I feel like that's my role in life, and I'll come on to that in a moment. But I'm also a massive people pleaser, and that's where I'm experiencing conflict at the moment between myself, between my needs, the needs of my business, and wanting to be there for friends. So, as you may know if you've watched some of my recent videos, I'm currently in the Netherlands, and the reason I'm here is because my housemate and very good friend Marcel, his mum took ill, and she actually passed away on Saturday. So that was about 4 or 5 days ago, and I was actually sat with her when she passed, which was a very peaceful and humbling experience, and a new one for me. And in actual fact, I'm not going to turn the camera around, but just down the other end of the room here is her coffin, so she's actually here with us, which is also a new experience for me. Something they do in Holland is lay the body in state effectively in the house for other people to come and visit and pay their last respects. But anyway, the reason I'm recording this video is because I've kind of got myself into a bit of a situation, and I want to try and find a way to deal with it differently to what I've done in the past. And that situation is, I'm here because I want to be here for Marcel. I want to be here to look after him, make him feel better in his time of grief and mourning, but also knowing him very well. I know it's going to be a particularly tough time for him coming up, because now he's just lost his mum. 2 years ago almost he lost his sister, and that's Anya there in the picture. She was my best friend, and that's how I know the family, and her death had a massive impact on me. And he lost his father about 10 years ago, so that's all his immediate family, so he's the only one left now. And me, this feels like the perfect opportunity for me to fly in and be Superwoman. Now, I've got this book here that I've been reading, and in fact I bought a few months ago because I sensed that it would be important to me, and it's called A Woman in Your Own Right, Assertiveness and You, and it's by a woman called Anne Dixon. Now, the book is actually written in the 1980s, so it's a little bit old-fashioned in some of its concepts and so on, but a lot of it is actually it's timeless, and it talks about us as a species. It's focused mainly on women, but it talks here, and this is the chapter I was reading yesterday, about, are you trying to be Superwoman? And a Superwoman is selfless and has no needs of her own, according to the book. And I was like, yep, that sounds like me. And it also talks about, what I was reading about yesterday was the compassion trap, which is what I feel exactly what I've fallen into. And that is trying to be there for other people at the expense of myself. And if I just read you a little bit of the book, because this actually got me quite emotional, because I was like, holy crap, that's me to a T. So the compassion trap is usually defined as a sense of obligation that, as a woman, you should put everybody else's needs before your own all of the time. You should always be available and accessible to others. And it goes on to talk about the role of a mother in a family, And it says it's deeply rooted in a psychosocial legacy inherited from our mothers, grandmothers, and no doubt many generations before that. And that inherited image is of an archetypal woman as a central, nurturing, powerful force in the family. She's the focal point of the family. Her task is to make sure there's food on the table, that her husband's needs are anticipated and met. It's her function to be a homemaker and to keep the family together at all costs. She's the emotional centre, the heart of the family, while the men go out and work and do money making in other spheres. It's to her that the children turn first with their problems, physical and emotional bruises, tears to be kissed away by her. And it's to her that the man turns for consolation and relief. She sees herself as a tower of strength and a refuge for those she loves. Talks about the best piece of meat always goes to her husband first and then her children, and herself last. And it's not because she feels inferior, but because it's the way it is and always has been. Because they need the best, she can manage. And that this is the bit that got me, is her whole life energy is expressed in this tenderness, this love and devotion which nourishes her family. And in turn, her own sense of pride and satisfaction depends on the knowledge of giving this to them all, of feeding and watching them grow and taking their strength from her. This is fulfillment. And I was like, holy crap. Yep, that's me. Even though I don't have a family of my own, even though I am single, I'm unmarried, no children, I feel like I've kind of adopted this family. Ever since Anya died, I feel like I've tried to take that role of being the tower of strength for the family, effectively. So I was nursing Jo when she became very physically ill soon after Anya's death, and she could barely walk. She got sciatica, she had gout, she had all sorts of problems. And she was in our home in England, and literally we were having to take her to the toilet, get her in and out of bed and all sorts of stuff. And I was doing this because that's what a mother would do. That's how the caring for another human being in order to keep the family together is what you do, even though this isn't my family. And now we're 18 months on and I'm doing the same again. And I'm feeling like I have to be that tower of strength, the one that holds the family together, that does all the caring, the tenderness, the emotional support. And the question is, A, is it my responsibility? B, am I actually helping? Or by kind of, sometimes I know I get in and I take over and I control things a little bit too much so that they're done in the way that I think they should be done. But by doing so, I'm actually taking away from the power away from other people to make their own decisions, to go through their own grief and deal with situations. Because I just want to hug everybody, tell them I love them, and say it's all going to be okay. But it's not. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. Excuse me. And it came to a bit of a crunch point just before I recorded this video, and that's why I'm recording this video. Because today, so I've been here a week now, and in that time I haven't really done much on my business, and I've also got a number of personal tasks that are piling up, tax return deadlines and things like that, which I need to spend some time on. But this past week I've barely done anything for myself, because I've been putting everybody else's needs first. And it's starting to grate now, it's starting to cause resentment. And so I thought, I've got to find a way to deal with this before the resentment gets too much of a problem, that I then get annoyed, emotional, ratty, or have an outburst, or a sulk or whatever, because that's not serving anybody, is it? It's not serving me, and it's not serving everybody else. It changes the atmosphere, and it makes them feel guilty when they've got nothing to be guilty for. So this is kind of the double-edged sword, I suppose, of having that freedom in your online business to be able to put it down. It's still running in the background. I've still got YouTube ads out there that are being served to people, and they've still got the opportunity to click on them and sign up for what it is that I'm promoting. So that's still running. It's not running very well at the moment. I did something the other day and I broke it, but I haven't really had time to look into it and see what I've done and make some changes. But it's that double-edged sword of, just because I have the freedom, I need to work out how to set my own boundaries. To say when I'm working, when I'm not working, when I need space, when I need to do things for me so that I can clear my own mind, I can be satisfied that I've done what I need to do for myself, and then I can be there and available and be properly, fully present for the people that I care about, so that I can help them fully and wholeheartedly rather than half-heartedly, because my mind is half on what I should be doing and what I'm not doing, and all the things that are piling up, because that doesn't serve anybody, does it really? So that's what I wanted to talk about today, folks, is that having all that freedom that we so desire, and that sort of passive income that everybody talks about, well, it's not 100% passive. You still need to do some stuff, and yes, you have flexibility over when you do it, but there's always going to be conflict, I suppose, that you need to resolve yourself, or you need to have the strength to be able to set your own boundaries so that you do give enough time to your business, or to yourself as well, your personal needs, as well as being there for everybody else, or whatever it is else in your life that you need that freedom for. So yeah, once I get the secret, folks, I'll let you know if I crack it. No, when I crack it, I'll be sure to share. But I just wanted to share that with you, folks, just to say that it's not always as easy as it seems to be on the outside. But I know it's possible, and I know other people can do it, so I know I'll find a way. All right, I shall leave it there for now. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.